5 unopened Euro 2008 Panini packs. Whoever's inside determines our Premier League squad. Let's find out who we get. Just like that, we're back in 2008. The club we've taken over is West Bromwich Albion, who finished bottom of the Premier League that season. Our squad has been assembled and includes players from 12 different nations. Just as a disclaimer, due to me picking the team image of the Czech Republic and Poland, I've picked Tomas Rosicky and Lukas Piszczek for the season ahead. Similarly, Croatia's shiny logo gives us their team captain Dario Srna. The regular logos of Germany and Spain also mean that we can transfer one player from each of their squads during the winter window. More on that later. I'm relatively happy with the players we've unpacked. Between the sticks we'll have one of the best goalkeepers in football history, Buffon. In reality, his was an injury-hit campaign, but he did manage to keep 11 clean sheets in 30 appearances with Juventus in 2009. You may have noticed already, but we only unpacked a single natural central defender. For the foreseeable future at least, Eric Abidal will have to deputise in that position. In the midfield, we'll have plenty of Premier League experience with Rosicky. If we can keep him fit, he could have a great season ahead. Especially with some of the forwards he'll be looking to pass the ball to. La Quinta, Sidney Govou, but also the top goalscorer in Udinese history, Antonio Di Natale. As mentioned earlier, this was a disastrous season for the West Midlands club, finishing bottom of the standings. I think it's safe to say they have some renewed hope with these new players. We're starting the year varying between a 4-1-2-3 and 4-1-4-1. We've instructed the team to play with as much width as possible and at a high tempo. Let's play through the season and see what happens. Following a 0-0 draw to local rivals Aston Villa on opening day, the Baggies made the trip north to Blackburn. The last time Thiago appeared for a Premier League team was Chelsea in 04-05. His single season in England was remarkable, as he earned a league winner's medal, playing for the best defensive side in the competition's history. And he'd be impactful at the other end of the field too. Milan Barros' cutback finds the Portuguese on the edge of the box. A slight deflection, and it's in the net. That would prove to be the solitary goal, as West Brom picked up a first win. And he'd continue that goal-scoring form a few weeks later. Trailing at home to Portsmouth, Salpingidis finds him on the edge of the box again. 2 minutes to go, Abidal secures another victory from the cross. With 4 matches played, things have been going remarkably well. We're sitting in second place, trailing leaders Man City on goal difference. Until now, though, we haven't faced one of the traditionally bigger sides. A victory against Arsenal would really set down a marker for the season ahead. One of our better performers so far has to be Dario Srna at fullback. In 2008, he captained his Croatia side to the quarter-finals at the Euros, before their eventual elimination against Turkey. But he would be powerless to stop Adebayor scoring off the corner. A single goal would define the outcome. We'd suffer our first league defeat of the campaign. Over the coming weeks, we'd hit our first major blip of the season, losing 3 games back-to-back. An absolutely elite United frontline would tear us apart here as Rooney gets the winner. Looking to put an end to a poor run of form, we made the trip to Anfield. Injuries to Di Natale and Gianluigi Buffon meant we rotated the side a little. Jerica Vranjes, another Croatian, has also been moved into the starting lineup. He'd spent the vast majority of his professional career playing in the Bundesliga with Leverkusen, Stuttgart, and Werder Bremen. Without a doubt, our squad has some highly talented players, but there are clear weaknesses within our lineup. This was way too easy for Gerrard. La Quinta would register us a consolation in the second half, but we'd have to return to the Midlands with a 2-1 defeat. As we moved into December, title-battling Man City made the trip to the Hawthorns. A single Craig Bellamy goal would determine the outcome. Way too easy. With 20 matches played, we're sitting all the way down in 11th. Having won 3 out of our 4 opening Premier League games, we've won just 4 since. Defensively, we've been solid, having only conceded 14, but our attack has been impotent. Let's briefly look at how we performed in other competitions. After suffering an early elimination to Everton in the FA Cup, the League Cup was our only other option for some silverware. In the earlier rounds, I really looked to rotate the squad and give some chances to those guys who weren't getting many minutes in the league. One of those players was Alexandros Tsitsioulis. The Greek midfielder primarily played in his homeland, but did spend a season with Hearts in Scotland. And he'd fire us on our way to a 2-0 victory against Ipswich. The fourth round would pit us against more championship opposition, Reading. After a great team move, Milan Baros put us ahead. Leroy Lita's late equaliser meant extra time and penalties. Thankfully, Edwin van der Sar would ensure we moved on to the quarter-finals, where it would be another penalty victory against Everton. The semis, and all that stood in the way of us in a trip to Wembley, were Chelsea. After a 1-1 draw in the Midlands, the second leg would be played at Stamford Bridge. The West Londoners dominated proceedings and eliminated us 4-1 on aggregate. But let's move back to the Premier League. We closed the year as one of the worst formed teams in the division, but at least we'd have a couple of recruits to bolster the squad. With our Germany logo sticker, I've used that to bring Per Mertesacker to the club. We've been decent defensively, but this addition will definitely give us some much needed depth. With Spain's logo, there were plenty of candidates to choose from their Euro 2008 winning squad, but I went with a 24-year-old Andres Iniesta. With these new additions, we look to put an end to our terrible run of form, but to little avail. Over the next 8 matches, we'd win just twice in the Premier League. Newcastle would make the trip south, looking to move into the Europa League places. Having scored just 5 league goals in 30 appearances, La Quinta has been dropped to the bench. Milan Baros has plenty of Premier League experience and will be starting up top for the remainder of the season. It wouldn't take long for him to make an impact. 10-man Newcastle would finally be broken down with 2 second-half goals by the Czech forward and Abadal. Over the final 7 matches of the season, Milan hit some red-hot form, finding the back of the net 4 times. I really regret not starting him earlier. His final involvement of the season would arrive in a 2-2 draw away at the Etihad. Getting behind Richard Dunn, he coolly converts. And here are West Bromwich Albion's full season stats. Over the final few games, we switched to a 4-4-2 and really played some of our best football yet. We went unbeaten in 7, outscoring our opponents by 9 goals to 2. Over the year, the most disappointing performer for me was probably Di Natale. I had really high hopes for him on the left-hand side of the field, but a single goal in 39 matches was disappointing. My player of the season would have to be Gianluigi Buffon. The Italian keeper was formidable in the net, only allowing 25 league goals all year. Remarkably too, he kept a clean sheet in 56% of the games he played. Unsurprisingly, with our top 2 scorers only registering 6 goals, we weren't in the Golden Boot contention. But where did we place in the standings? Well, it would be a 10th place finish, 9 points behind European qualification. My decision to play LaQuinta up front for most of the season as a lone forward was a bad one. In those games when Barros played, we were a lot more effective in the attacking third. Euro 2008 kicked off nearly 2 decades ago, but will always be remembered as the tournament which kickstarted Spain's domination of international competition. Here, with a squad drawn from all over the continent, we put together a decent campaign in England's top flight.